Welcome to Playbook for Performance, the official podcast of Shauna Corden, the Joan of Arc for corporate healing and performance. Join the quest to make work fun again by preparing leadership for engaging workplaces. And now, your host.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Playbook for Performance podcast. This month, we're really talking about how to enjoy the holidays. And last week, we were talking about this whole idea of really being intentional and starting with the end in mind. But this week, we're going to talk about your attitude and what's wrong with your attitude and why is it not going as planned? Well, let's talk about that. Let's dive in. So what happens often at this time is people recognize, oh, I had such great ambitions. I was so excited about this plan that I had for the holidays. I had laid out everything I wanted to do. I've put it all in my calendar. I made arrangements with everyone. And then things started to fall apart. You're like, oh, I did the homework. I did everything I was supposed to. So it could be that, things are going to be late in terms of shipments. They're out of stock of that perfect gift that you picked out. You busted your budget, or maybe you deferred to what the rest of the group wanted to do because you really wanted to connect, but now you're resentful. Well, give yourself some grace. Not everything is going to be a Hallmark movie. And even in every Hallmark movie, there's a big misunderstanding. That's what makes the plot, right? So give yourself some grace and just breathe. This is going to happen, and it might happen in a big scale, but we really want to practice some resilience. And that means that we are going to bend when these situations show up. We're not going to break, okay? We're not going to fall down on the floor in the middle of the department store and weep uncontrollably because you didn't get your Buzzsaw Louie, okay? So in this case, what we really want to do is say, what was my intention behind that perfect gift? What was I really trying to convey? Can I still communicate that and have it arrive a week late? What is it that I really want to get across to my family? What am I trying for? So this is important for you. It's important for them to really just kind of reconnect with what it was that you were trying to accomplish or convey. The other thing is to have a little bit of humor and some lightness about the situation. It's not the end of the world. As Gretchen Rubin says, the things that go off track or the disasters really make the best stories. So whether it's, they're out of stock of your favorite thing, or you ran up more debt than you wanted, or, you decided to go along with everybody else and it really was a bomb, you can just say, I told you so. So we really want to nurture our attitude, because our attitude is the only thing that's going to go through us from today when we're hearing this podcast all the way through the holidays. And it really is your mindset about how you go through all of these events, whether you enjoy them, whether they're good, whether they're bad. It's all the story you tell yourself. And that comes from your frame of mind, where your attitude is in any given moment. So let's play detective. Let's learn from these disappointments. Were your ambitions too grandiose? Did you say, hey, we're going to wake up in the morning and we're going to have a snowball fight, and we're going to make cookies, and we're going to do this, kind of like that scene in Elf. It's so cute when he does that. He's got it all in the Etch-a-Sketch, and then he just erases it all. Were your ambitions too grandiose? Did you try to plan more than one major event in a day? That's probably unrealistic from an energy perspective, a logistics perspective, and just everything it takes for those little events or big events to go smoothly. Did you maybe not communicate as well as you thought, either the importance of the activity or the logistics of the activity? A lot of times we think, oh, I communicated this perfectly. I could not have been more clear. I'm talking to you, Sophie and Cassandra. I could not have been more clear. But maybe you weren't. Maybe you left out a few of the steps in your mind because you've been rehearsing it in your head for so long that you weren't able to convey it in the same extent or thoroughness that it was in your brain. So that's that Brene Brown, paint the shed activity. It's like, I'm telling you to paint the shed. Now you tell me what painting the shed means to you. If I say dinner's at 5:00, what does that mean to you? Does that mean, hey, we're showing up, we're having appetizers, or have a cocktail, and then we're really going to sit down and eat at 6? Maybe not. So think about that. Did you communicate as well as you thought? And then finally, were people really not on board? I mean, this is when we need people to be honest. And, we value honesty. Honesty is important. So were people really not on board? They were kind of going along because there's a conflict deficit in your home. People are not willing to talk about the things that create emotion. Sometimes we just really need to air it out, and we need to say, I wanted this. It sure seems like you didn't want this. Tell me about what you wanted. Let's get it out. Let's air it out. And as Leanne Davey says, when you have this discussion, be sure to leave out all the adjectives. We want to be super objective. We want to observe the behavior without just using adjectives. Adjectives are what get us in trouble. If you say, well, I'm not even going to get into it. Okay. So again, we're doing this because we want to nurture our attitude. We want to carry ourselves and be a certain person in this moment of time. And in order to do that, we've got to have the mindset that really supports that. So once you've tallied all those yellow flags in hindsight, whether it was communication or people weren't on board, too much, whatever it was, how do you not set yourself up for failure again? So it might be that you have a checklist for people, that you play out your expectations, that you really need to maybe tone it down a little bit in terms of the number of activities or the distance between activities or the number of people involved in activities, because each person is a different factor in terms of the complications of things. So how do you make sure that you don't set yourself up for failure again? But again and again, we want to nurture our attitude because it's the only thing, the one thing that's in our control. So think about what triggered you. Think about what sent you in a spiral and put you in a funk. Was it people not taking you seriously? Was it people not following? The end result was kind of meh, and really we're hoping it was magical. What's the trigger? And then how do you restore your balance? Okay. So we want to put the triggers back up in that yellow flag thing so we can plan against it. But how do you personally, when you're upset, either angry, frustrated, disappointed, mad, tired, exhausted, you can't take one more piece of this, how do you restore your balance? You want to go to your happy place until your well is full again. And that might mean excusing yourself from a party, bowing out of something that you said you were going to do, but you really need some rest. I mean, you can say you have a stomach ache, like some of us did when we were in grade school to get out of stuff. You just excuse yourself, go watch whatever it is that makes you happy, or listen to or read, okay? You really want to be in your own little universe when you're restoring this. I have had clients over the years, because I do this exercise a lot with people. I have had clients over the years watch a whole private channel that they have created for themselves of just cat videos. I've had clients who put on their favorite music and they dance with their earbuds in the toilet stall. Not kidding. It could be that you tell yourself a story that is totally ridiculous, where you turn the whole situation that you just experienced into a fairy tale, and you are the knight in shining armor or the brave princess or whatever it might be, and you are going to swoop back in and use your magic wand to save the day. That's a little NLP stuff there. But really, you want to get to the point where you just like you've composed yourself, you've restored yourself, you're back in that space, and you are ready to go at it again with maybe a little lower expectation than you had before. It doesn't mean that you have to be in a funk, and we definitely don't pout. No pouting, because Santa is coming. So pouting's not allowed. That just means that you want attention from other people and you're not a grown-up. But we're all grown-ups here, so we're not going to pout. We are going to take care of ourselves. We are not dependent on other people to restore our needs. We do this for ourselves, even if it is a list of cat videos that you are going to watch until you're smiling or laughing, crying all over again. You might call a girlfriend. You might read a passage in your favorite book. You might say a prayer. Whatever it takes, you are in charge of getting back into order again. Nobody else is there to fix you. So when we want to enjoy our holidays, it means that we protect our attitude in every way possible, including having that clear container around yourself that's like a little force field that says, you know, whatever you do is going to bounce off unless I choose to let it in. Okay. So I do want you to have like the most fabulous, nurturing holiday that is magical for every part and every ambition that you have. But we want to make sure that it goes well for you by you taking care of you. Again, we want to bend, not break. So when we have a disappointment, then come back up after you have restored yourself. So if this is helpful to you, you'd like to learn more, you'd like to bring it into your workplace, that sort of thing, we offer this workshop consistently. It's part of our resilience. This has a little bit of a holiday spin on it, but just contact us. And if you have some specific questions about how to deal with certain situations, drop them in our YouTube channel in the comments, or you can DM us on Instagram. We will get back to you. We love solving problems. We like being detectives. So until next time, take really good care and happy holidays. Bye-bye.